Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon, and I am warming up. Had a great meeting today, again with friends, a family nearby, PJ and Rebecca, and they came over to the cabin and just had just a really cool meeting. And that's something I'm going to talk about shortly. I have like a sermon I want to get out there, preach. So, on faith and just a lot of things that are going on that I see going on around the world, around the country, with the remnant specifically. So I just had a wild hair. Well, I talked about the Bellows in my hot dog blower, and I'm going to end up with that. Hot dog blower, yeah. Hot dog cooker slash Bellows. The camera's over here. There it is. You can see where the lens is almost. There you go. 45 inches long. And I guess one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it was because you want to get a fire going, you better have some way to get it going. I mean, other than the old Indian trick. Had a friend that was part Cherokee. And it'd be a rainy day, and the wood was all soaking wet. And they'd say, "Man, how are we going to get a fire going?" And he'd say, "Don't worry about it. I'm part Indian. You guys go hike, have fun, come back, I'll have a fire going." And he'd have a roaring fire going. And they said, "How'd you do that?" And he goes, "Old Indian trick. It's a secret. I could tell you, but then, the rest of that one." So he said, "It was just a couple quarts low. Transmission fluid, motor oil, used motor oil, who cares?" Um, so, like I said, I flattened these a little bit. I could probably hold it up and you could probably see that. Flattened it, ovaled it out a little bit. I dropped that in, stuck that in something. No big deal because it's not, I don't blow through that one. That's the part that you stick in the other one. So anyway, you want to get a fire going, you need to get oxygen to it. And that, when you're blowing through something, okay, you are exhaling some carbon dioxide, not pure oxygen. So kind of just take a quick breath and blow it. My two grandsons, they were awesome. They would go, they were phenomenal. Total firebugs. Okay, so I had this thought. Well, I wonder if air grills are still out there, and I found one here. What a joke! I asked the people, "Is this for like 3 or 4 cases, 5 cases, maybe of these things?" You see things like this once in a while, $900 for something that costs $5. This was the original invention. You can see 3 different sizes of nozzles there. You can blow up a beach ball, air, mattress or air mattress, something like that. And they were very well built. And that one there, you notice that the crank goes into the center of it. So that was the cheaper one. The better one had a bottle opener on the end, and the crank is offset, meaning it had a geared. It was a lot faster. They had 2 different models. Anyway, I bought a case of them and I gave them away. And here's the thing is, the Vietnam vet guy told me one time, the same guy that I just quoted, plastic goes away. There was a question of getting a cup or something. Here's a nice plastic one. Here's a metal one. I said, well, Don, you can get this for $3 less. Right in my face. Plastic goes away. Okay, so beat that into your head. These things are delicate. Almost everybody. My wife used it, or my kid used it, and they got dirt in the thing, and they were very sensitive. I found another reason I brought this up because I found one the other day, a real one, and I just don't know where it's at the moment. I do know it's out in the van. Okay, so anyway, I found that, and then I found this monstrosity. Now you notice this thing had a plastic handle, one piece. The handle on some of them would fold over so it was out of the way. Some of them, I think, on this one it would pop off, and then you could stick it, you put it back on, so it didn't get broken in, transporting it. The metal tube came off. Of course, it's got the three different nozzle sizes. They were very well built. I had about a 4 foot piece of electrical conduit, 1/2 inch conduit, and I had it all rigged up so I could either put it over it or inside of it or whatever, but electrical tape. And the tube had a little bend on the end, about like that. I had a fire going. I threw a pop can in it, and I vaporized the pop can in about 3 minutes. There was nothing left of it. It went away. Aluminum goes away. Metal can go away too, if you get a fire hot enough. Okay. So this thing though is just a impressive looking. The plastic, I'm going to say, looks very good, very high quality. You can see the size of that blower cage is just phenomenal. It's got a cast metal handle with screws and bolts and everything. I mean, that to keep holder on. I'm going to show you that in a minute here. You can see a keeper screw there at the base of the handle where it goes into the machine. No idea what those three little doohickeys are. Top left one there, you can see the cage, the blower. This thing has got to be, you can see inset screws there, 3 of them there on the handle, and 2 of them on either side of that blower. Looks like you can take it apart and clean it. I'm going to say, why not? That was a drawback on the other ones. You couldn't take them apart that well. You could pop them apart, and I think they were very difficult to hope that they would stay back together. Something like that. This tube also comes off. They don't screw on. They just slide on. So you can put EMT conduit over that or inside of it. I think 1/2 inch inside of it and 3/4 over it, maybe. Just at a guess. I don't know. But this thing, and the plastic label on it, or the label on it there, the red label, looks like a metal manufacturer's label, I don't know. I mean, it really does. This thing looks like a beast. It really does. I blew these up so you can look at them. Those 3 little thingies are just interesting. You see the handle is not in the center. It's offset. That means it's geared, so it's super high. My son does cattle, custom grazing cattle. When you're rolling up that single line of stainless steel woven poly wire, you can get a reel that goes in the middle, and if you want to sit there and just go like all day long, or you get one that's like triple fast, triple geared, and they're always offset like that. So this one would be a monster. I mean, see the brass keeper screw there, the set screw there with the pot metal, large handle, very large handle, the red part. I mean, I'm just impressed. The handle looks like there's a brass screw there. It can come off. Very interesting. Gives you the dimensions in centimeters. 8 centimeters, about 4 inches. So that's the housing is a lot larger diameter, and it's a lot deeper. It's 8 centimeters wide and also 8 centimeters deep. I mean, that's got to be a monster of a cage in there. Pretty cool. Okay, so there's other things. Plastic, again, goes away. Electricity goes bad. Things break. You drop them. They're sensitive. They got a fan. Skip it. Skip it, Skip it. I will say that thing's offset. That's kind of neat. At first I was thinking these might not be a bad idea, but, D-cell battery, it's going to go bad. You can get USB ones. I did buy some of these. You'll see the crank is offset. You can see how cheesy that is compared to the American one. You can take it apart. It looks like, I don't remember. I've got a few of these laying around. I've got another one of them. Where I have the air grill, I got one of these. This was very disappointing to me to go back one time, and I wanted to get more of the air grills because I bought a whole case of them one time. And This is all there was, and I bought a couple of them, I think, and they're just like, they work, but I doubt they work very long. They sound, I mean, the ergo, you could crank on that thing for several minutes at a time, and I think these things would just burn up and blow up if you did that. So, no on that. Now, go back to the old-fashioned way of doing things other than blowing. And let me tell you, the reason I got into this idea was because I was reading about civil